Go!
And welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Tailgate Talk here at Sun Media Group. I'm Justin Pelletier, joined as always by Mr. Kal and Mr. Randy Whitehouse. And sunglasses apparently the couture of the day that I did not notice. No, thanks, I'm all set. And we are here at Oak Hill High School, home of the Raiders here in Wales. And we're here because we're going to a different high school every week. And, well, it was Oak Hill's turn. They've got a big game coming up this week. They are already in the playoffs. Of course, it matters for their standing. We've got Oak Hill and Maranacook this weekend. Cal, your thoughts first on that game?
Well, big game for a chance at home field in the first round of the 18 playoffs in Western Maine Class C, and it's Oak Hill's first year in Class C, back in Class C after being in B the last few years, where they've been in the playoffs usually as a 7th or 8th seed and getting fed to one of the Lions in the first round. So it's a chance for them to again step up at the end of the year, show the progress they've made, because they've been in basically every game, and it's a chance for them to go 5-3 and be on the plus side of the ledger going into the playoffs.
And it's essentially a playing game for Maranacook, which, like Oak Hill, was in Class B, and they got a shot at the playoffs. They'll probably make the playoffs with an upset win this week, so it's essentially a playoff game for them.
We've heard from our experts. Let's hear from them. Let's hear from the coach and a couple of players from Oak Hill High School.
We're here with Dave Wing, coach from Oak Hill High School. Dave, we've got Maranacook this week, you guys. It's always been kind of a rivalry, but now it's been kind of moved from Class B to Class C, and there's some end of the season implications on it. How has that kind of amped up the preparation this week a little bit?
Yeah, it's always been a rivalry game, no question. We started the same year in 1976, and it's been pretty competitive in every sport. It means for them getting into the playoffs if they can win, and for us, one of our goals all year has been to be in the top 4 so we can have a home playoff game, and that makes a difference. We win, I think we'll play at home, and if not, then we'll be on the road somewhere, and we certainly would rather be at home.
Yeah, you guys have the advantage of playing on Saturday afternoon, which get a big crowd for a home playoff game, so that's something that probably is a factor too, would you?
Yeah, it's nice. We'd like to be at home for our fans, so they don't have to travel or whatever, and like I say, it is great for the community to have us right here.
And the first Oak Hill Maranacook game under the lights too this year, which
That's
is
right.
Over there.
First time ever. No, we were there to scout against Winthrop, and it's nice. It's quite a facility now. They've got a nice set of bleachers. The lights are gorgeous, and it's really nice.
We're here with Josh Prue, Oak Hill High School. Josh, tell us about the move to Class C this year and what it's meant to you guys, especially as an older group and some experienced guys. Is it kind of giving you a lift, kind of a boost?
Yeah, well, we've always been matched up with the bigger teams like Leavitt and Winslow and stuff like that, and we just don't really have the numbers or the football history to compete with them. So this year, moving down to Class C, we're playing teams that we can play with.
What's been the key to this season and the success? I mean, you guys have had a pretty good balanced offense and a hard-hitting defense. I mean, is there anything behind the scenes that people don't see that's been a factor?
I think the coaching is just really positive and keeping people wanting to play and encouraging.
Talk about the game with Maranacook a little bit. You got it's kind of a rivalry that's a new dimension this year, being in Class C, but. Lot riding on this game for both teams.
Yeah, it would be great for us to get a home playoff game, and it's what our goal's been all year. And obviously their goal has been to make the playoffs, so this game's going to mean something.
We're here with Josh Allen of Oak Hill High School. Josh, tell us about the season so far. You guys have you met all your expectations? Have you exceeded them? I mean, what would you say?
We had high expectations coming into this year. I mean, we've always wanted to get, like Coach was saying, a playoff spot, a home game. So our expectations were high coming into the season. I mean, we've had a few games that we maybe thought we should have had, and we just didn't quite get them. But overall, I think the season's going pretty good, and we should do pretty good in playoffs.
And we thank the coaches and staff here at Oak Hill for allowing us to intrude on their practice today. They are playing one game on Friday. Of course, full slate of games on Friday night. We only have one Saturday game at this point this weekend because Edward Little and Lewiston has been moved to Friday night, which creates a whole bunch of interesting matchups Friday night. Let's start there. Battle of the Bridge, number 100 and something or other.
Yeah, and Lewiston certainly with a chance, I would think, to repay Edward Little for the 2 losses last year, both on Lewiston's home field. This one will be over at Walton Field. Just, you got to feel bad for Darren Hartley. It's been a tough year for him, and he's a guy that wears his heart in his sleeve. And after that loss to Mount Ararat Friday night, he definitely was venting to me about what a frustrating season it's been. And of course, it'll make any season for EL if they could pull off the upset, regardless of the playoff implications. I think they're pretty much out of it, but you know, it would be an upset to say the least if they do lose.
Anything to add on that one, Randy?
Well, like Cal said, it would make EL season. Would kind of make Lewiston season to get some revenge. And you know, Lewiston is pretty much out of the hunt for a home playoff game. But if they're going to get one, they're going to have to win on Friday night, and they just want to get ready for the playoffs no matter what. They're coming off a tough game against Coney. They'd like to have a little easier time this week, but we'll see.
And of course, the other big rivalry matchup this weekend, Jay and Livermore Falls. Another one of those games where you throw out the records and you let the two teams go at it, because there's a genuine sports-centered hatred kind of there on that field between those two teams.
Well, it's kind of it's a love-hate relationship. They play in a lot of the same leagues right up and through junior high and at that level. My favorite football rivalry at any level of football, and I'm not kidding, and I've pretty much made that clear over the years. It should be another great one. Jay been put in a tough spot by the loss to Winthrop. They're maybe looking at that number 8 seed unless they can pull off an upset over Livermore Falls.
I'm partial to Camden Hills and
Poland and Lake region.
Poland,
right?
well, okay, I admit it. But yeah, hey, the Andes coming off a big win on this very field last week against the Raiders, and the Tigers, you know, they're fighting for their playoff lives. So, like Cal said, throw the records out the window. Make sure you bring them back in, because you're going to need them for later.
It's going to be awfully cold and rainy on Saturday. So
Oh, yeah.
do that.
Speaking of Saturday, the only game we have on Saturday, before we get back to the rest of the Friday slate, Falmouth at Poland. At this point, still on Saturday. They can't really play them at night because there's no lights over at Poland. So what are we expecting in a slop fest there?
I think they're working on the lights, which, you know, they shouldn't do, because they get a lot of coverage of these Saturday afternoon games when they're the only game in town. I think the Yotsmen proved that they're right up there with the better teams in Western B with that performance against Mountain Valley. It's probably not going to be enough for them to make the playoffs this year, because Wells seems entrenched in that 4th spot, but it could be another tough assignment for Poland.
As far as the rest of the slate, we've got Coney at Oxford Hills, Skowhegan at Mount Blue.
That's a big one.
That is a big one, playoff-wise. That's a big one.
I mean, they have a chance to end the season with a 2-game winning streak and get in. So.
And Skowhegan's back to being Skowhegan. They've won, what, 3 of their last 4?
Yeah,
So
which is what they do every year,
yeah.
it seems like.
Yeah, it seems like they start a little bit slower and get going. Gardner at Levitt, that's one that we were looking at him earlier and we kind of overlooked a little bit, but it's still Gardner-Levitt.
Levitt's made us overlook it by being as dominant as they are. And Gardner, I think even if it ends in a tie, Levitt will end up with the tiebreaker because of Crabtree points, even if they were to lose the head-to-head game. But it's still an important game. It's still a game you want to win going into the postseason.
Second straight year that both teams have had possibly the number 1 seed or top 2 seeds on the line going in, and Levitt will take the same result as last year, even though it's just a 1-point win.
And going down the line, Lisbon, Winthrop, Dirigo, Madison, and Wells, Great New Gloucester. Anything stand out there, I guess?
Dirigo with a chance, obviously, to polish off the unbeaten regular season, which I think is pretty much a given at this point. Lisbon, Winthrop, both teams in the playoffs, but it's always a good battle.
Yeah, Lisbon Winthrop, that's probably the best game of the lot, and probably not the least significant Dirigo is, but a game that definitely be a pretty physical matchup.
Did we mention York at Mountain Valley? That's a tune-up for the York.
Oh, I'm sorry, I must have skipped over that one by mistake. Absolutely,
more than a tune-up.
Another 7-0 versus 6-1 battle, and yeah, York definitely could give them some problems.
The one thing maybe has the edge there is the home field in this particular
definitely
case.
Chet Bulger Field would be a big advantage.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you all for watching another edition of Tailgate Talk. Next time, playoffs, baby.
Playoffs?
Playoffs.
Don't talk about playoffs.
Have a good one.